Hi everyone. Today we're going to work on the week 4 activity, and we're going to begin by opening multiple documents in Photoshop. The first thing I'd like you to do is click on File. Rather than click on Open, we're going to browse in Bridge. Bridge is a companion program that you can use alongside Photoshop, which allows you to open not only multiple images, but view them at different zoom angles. Now the first thing you'll notice when you open up Bridge is that it may not look exactly like mine. To make sure that you're using the same interface as me, go over here on the right hand side and click on the down caret that's located next to the search box. When you click on that down caret, it'll allow you to reset the standard workspace, and then click back on it again and select Essentials. We are now working on the same Bridge interface. What you'll notice is that to the left, it's going to list all of the folders on your computer just as if you would have clicked File Open. It'll always remember the last place you looked. So if all your pictures are in My Pictures and a folder there, and that's the last place that you looked, it'll take you there. In my case, it took me to my desktop in a folder called Sample Images. Go ahead and locate a folder with your images and double click. You'll notice that the images, when they're opened, give you some nice little thumbnails, but those thumbnails are really small. On a PC, if you click Control+, it will enlarge your images. On a Mac, Command+ will enlarge your thumbnails. Another great thing about Bridge is it allows you to click on an image just once and then click on the spacebar. That's going to show the image at full screen. The nice thing about this is that you can navigate full screen from picture to picture within your folder by clicking the arrows. So clicking the right and left arrows allow you to see through the folders in your image, in your folder. Another nice thing is thumbnails don't always show you when an image is blurry. Let's take this image for example. From my thumbnail it looked crystal clear, but I can see here that there's some nice blurry edges, which is really not what I'd like. So I know it's not an image that I'm going to open. When I'm ready to return to Bridge, all I need to do is click Escape. Now, before we go any further, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Bridge. Bridge not only allows you to view your images before you open them, but it also allows you to do some really great things like batch renaming multiple images. You can also apply rankings to your images, apply keywords for searching and sorting purposes. It also allows you to edit your images in Camera Raw. The final thing that I really like about Bridge is this area over here for metadata. Now, anytime a digital device creates an electronic file, it's going to apply metadata. Metadata is information about information, and every time you have a different device, it's recording a different set of metadata. In this case, Bridge allows you to view the metadata that accompanies any given picture. So if I click on an image, I can take a look here on the right-hand side, and it's going to list all the metadata that applies to this image. And that includes anything from, the document type, when it was created, the file size, information about dimensions and resolution, and bit depth and color mode. And if I scroll down, it's also going to give me information about the camera that I used. So you can see here that I've got information that tells me about, what kind of exposure I used, what focal length, date and time, and whether flash was applied. In this case, it'll also tell me a little bit about the make and model of the camera. Furthermore, if you scroll down, you'll notice that it gives you information about GPS. Now, for those of you who take a lot of pictures with your smartphones, beware that every single device is capturing different amounts of information. Many smartphones have the ability to capture latitude, longitude, and altitude when taking a photo. And so you may unwittingly be supplying this information when you share your pictures online. In this case, my camera does not provide latitude, longitude, and altitude, and so it's not included. You may want to take a look to see what information your camera is supplying when you share your images online. Take a look up here as well. You'll notice that under this tab, it's going to provide a lot of information here, including address, city, province, phone number, email, and so on. From a security standpoint, for those of you who take a lot of digital images with your smartphones, this is something you may want to verify before you email out a picture or before you post it online. But this area is also a really great area for those of you who are budding photographers who would like to include copyright information. The nice thing about metadata is it's not permanent. You can delete or edit anything that's in the metadata, and that can be done in Bridge. Let's return to the area here where I have all of my pictures within my folder, and now I want to select images that I'd like to open in Photoshop. To select images that I'd like to open, just hold the Control button or Command on the Mac, click, and select your images. If at any time you want to change your selection, you can click Control, unselect, and select a new image. You'll notice in the preview side over here, I can see that I have 4 images selected. And when I click Enter, it's going to open those images in Photoshop. While Photoshop is launching, you'll notice that tabs across the top here are showing up every time I open a new document. And if I toggle from document to document, I can do that just by clicking on those tabs. I can also at any time close one of these documents. Let's say I've opened this document and I didn't really intend to include this picture. I could just close that by clicking a little X in the top of that tab. Each one of these tabs has that same little X to close it. Another great thing about working in Photoshop is that it recognizes that some of us like to work with multiple documents at the same time. Photoshop allows you to do that by clicking on Window, Arrange, and in this case I want to tile all vertically, just to demonstrate how you can do that. Here I've got all 4 of my images open, and I know that they're all separate because here I have my tabs at the top. Once again, if at any time I want to close them, just click on the little X. I can change the way that my images are displayed as well by going Windows, Arrange, Tile Horizontally. Now I have all of my images opened in their own little tiles horizontally. And I can work on each one. You know that the one that I'm working on is active because it has a slightly brighter gray when it's active. Finally, I want to show you guys if, for example, you wanted to work on 4 documents at the same time, but you only wanted to see 2 at a time. I'm going to click on Windows, Arrange, and Tile 2 vertically. Now I've got 2 documents in my viewing screen, but you'll notice that I have 1 tab here and 1, 2, 3 tabs here. This allows me a little bit of flexibility without having 4 documents open at the same time. And finally, if I want to return to 1 view at a time, click and hold and drag this tab until it's over top of the other tabs and you have that blue halo around it, and release. Now I've returned to 1 view at a time.